Welcome back, guys. We're trainer Kafui from Kafui Fitness. So this video is going to be a little different. I teamed up with Shelton from Shelton Fitness. He actually interviewed me a couple weeks ago, so I want to cut down the interview a little bit. But if you want to catch the full interview, head on over to Shelton Fitness, and I'll link his channel in the description. And voila.
How did you get your start on YouTube? What made you want to start YouTube?
So it actually started with another company called Check My Athletics. And so this company is a company where we used to test youth athletes. So things like if you've ever watched the NFL or NBA combines, we have the exact same equipment they use, and we used to run those tests for athletes and help them set benchmarks. And then so I created the YouTube channel just to kind of give athletes guidance on exercise and how-to videos in order just to help them improve in their sport. And then that company ended up closing down, but I really enjoyed making the instructional videos and helping athletes out. So then I kind of broadened it to my own thing where I started Kafui Fitness. And then I made it a bit more general where I don't just cater to athletes, but also for strength, athletes, and then just the general fitness population as well. Like, I just want to get to as much people as possible, basically.
So how long have you been doing YouTube for?
So in total, probably, it's a good question. I'd say in total maybe like getting closer to 3 years, but with Kafui Fitness, it's been almost a year.
My viewers who don't know Kafui, he's into powerlifting. How long have you been doing powerlifting for?
So I'm gonna have to give you a long-winded answer to answer this, but basically I've committed to the powerlifting sport within like the last year, so it's probably been almost a year of actually committing to the sport. But oddly enough, it actually starts with soccer. So I've been playing competitive soccer for about 12, 13 years, like since I was a kid. And the reason why I actually started working out was because one of my coaches said I was too small and I needed to gain weight. That was kind of my inspiration to start working out, because I was really the smallest on the field to get pushed off the ball and whatnot. And then when I started working out, like in my off season, I just naturally build strength pretty fast. And there was one occasion when I was working out at Good Life and they had a prepping team, and this guy walked over me and just like, hey man, like, you gotta compete. Like, that lift is getting close to the records for your weight class. Like, you gotta do it. And I still don't take it seriously. But after enough time, people like kind of prodding me to like, why aren't you competing? I finally committed to my first meet after one of my soccer seasons. And it went way better than expected. I ended up winning that meet. I won Best Male Overall Lifter and qualified for nationals. So I was like, you know what? I gotta commit at this point. So
For people who are really into that sport and really desire to qualify for nationals, and then you're just kind of like waltz on in and you're like, I'll try it.
yeah, I mean, like, I was still doing, like, I did skip a few steps, but like I was still doing strength training off my off season for a good like 3 to 4 years before I actually like did my first competition. So it wasn't like I just stepped in there and was like all of a sudden pulling that weight. Like, I still had that strength base behind me from always training strength on my off season.
For those starting to get into powerlifting or who are interested in it, how would you recommend starting to build that strength base?
That's a very good question. It's just like getting into the gym, like getting your workouts in. Like it's just like starting with like taking your baseline and try not to spend too much time like comparing yourself to people who've been powerlifting for years. You just kind of have to look at where you are, set that baseline, and then make those small steps to keep like improving over time. So like getting in there, sticking to a program, and just kind of experimenting, seeing how your body reacts to different workouts, and then over time, like, you will see those lifts go up.
And is there like certain accessory movements or exercises that you lean toward to help like break through plateaus and things like that, or just like you said, just basically keep grinding?
Oh, for sure. So obviously, if you're powerlifting, you have your squats, bench, and deadlift, which is your bread and butter. So like, those are going to be the bulk of your training, but you can't forget the accessories. Like, accessories definitely help aid your 3 lifts. Some of the ones that I specifically like are, let's say, for upper body strength, I utilize Henley rows or barbell rows. So that's a good one for just building like general upper body strength, building your lats. And like one things I really like that is like, let's say when you're deadlifting, like you have to, although your hamstrings and glutes are the primary movers, like as soon as you initiate that pull, like everything has to be back, including your whole posterior chain. So like that's a really nice movement. I'd like to help keep my like that lat engagement, my whole back tight. And then it also helps with bench, because a lot of people don't realize this, but when you're benching, you want to keep your lats as strong and engaged as possible. So like being able to do exercises like lat pull downs to help build that lat engagement can really help when you're actually in your bench position and engaging those lats in that position. So those are two upper body accessories I enjoy. For deadlifts, I like using straight leg deadlifts just to get more hamstring and glute activation. And I mean, there's a ton of good accessories out there, but like you obviously like can't do everything. So just pick a few. And I'd say the biggest thing is looking at your weak points. So like finding accessories that are going to build on your weak points. So like something that'll work for me might not work for, you know, the next person. So it's like test and trial at the same time.
If you don't mind me asking, what are your current numbers for your three big lifts, your squats, your bench, and your deadlift?
Yeah, for sure. So I will give you my gym and competition PRs. If you tell another powerlifter your gym PR, they won't take that seriously. They'll be like, no, it has to be a competition. They don't like gym PRs. But for my gym PRs, so squats I've hit 515 for a mean grinder, deadlift 675, and then bench I hit 340 like back before I got a shoulder injury in soccer. And then I actually didn't bench for a whole year before I got back, like really seriously into powerlifting. So it's come back nicely. And then so my gym, actually at my last meet, I hit all new competition PRs, which is nice. So squats I hit 501, bench 330, and then deadlift 660. And I'm hoping to take the national record for deads eventually.
And you said you qualified for nationals. When is nationals for you?
So nationals is early March, and then I have provincials in November before that.
All right, so I'll ask a question that you kind of touched on a little bit already. Have you ever had a powerlifting injury? If so, explain. If not, how do you avoid those injuries?
Right. So I haven't had any terrible, like I've obviously had injuries in the past, but most of my injuries have actually come from soccer. And so, like, I've had injuries from the past which are affecting my powerlifting right now. So, like, that first meet I did, like, I came off my soccer season in the summer where I developed patellar tendinitis in my right knee. And then I also sprained my MCL in my left knee. So, like, I had quite a bit of rehab for that. And then it's just been, like, ongoing, like, pain management, just kind of, like, fixing things up. But I haven't actually had any major powerlifting injuries. Like, I've had, like, maybe just, like, tweaks here and there, but nothing major. In terms of injury prevention, I'd say it's not trying to get ahead of yourself. Like, a lot of times you'll actually see people getting injured when they're doing their warm-ups in powerlifting. Like, 2 weeks out from competition, I actually tweaked my glute, and it wasn't even on one of my heavy sets. It was honestly just, like, when I was warming up with, like, 225, so it was, like, on my back, I felt like nothing, but that's just, like, how it goes sometimes. So it's honestly like just like when you're lifting, always preparing, like making sure you're bracing your core, like you're keeping everything tight. Because it's those like warm sets where you're not actually like thinking about that lift is when usually like those fluke injuries happen. So yeah, it's basically just like, you know, like sticking to the good form, keeping everything tight, and just not getting ahead of yourself. And those are probably the main things for injury prevention and hitting your mobility. A lot of powerlifters don't like to mobility, but
I wanted to talk about that as well. You have a website, Kafui Fitness. It's just KafuiFitness.com, right?
Yeah, KafuiFitness.com. Make sure to check it out.
Yeah, insert that plug. And it's a blog, correct? Basically, it's like a search engine almost.
Yeah, so like you go onto my website, you can find honestly like fitness articles on almost anything. So like nutrition, how-to videos. There's a lot of my YouTube videos linked in the blogs. I have workouts on there, and then little promotion, you can also buy my clothing off my site. I'm going to be adding a forum there soon just to kind of create my own little fitness community. But yeah, it's like definitely a work in progress, but it has a lot of great resources, and it's something I'm going to definitely keep building out.
And do you create all of that content, or is it like a collection of articles that you found, or do you write all of that?
So yeah, all the blogs on my website I have written personally. I might start accepting guest blogs just because it is a lot of work to maintain. But if I can get high quality guest blogs, I'll definitely be open to it. But yeah, right now all the content on there I've written myself. And if I've taken from other sources, like I would obviously give credit in the references, and like sometimes if I find like a cool workout or video, I might just like embed that into a blog, so like then people obviously be seeing that channel or whatnot.
I'll definitely link that in the description below as well, guys.
Oh, perfect.
Well, thank you for taking the time to do this. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on. I enjoyed talking to you about what I do in Kafui.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. And as always, for more workout videos, training tips, and everything fitness, you know what to do. Like and subscribe, get CAFIT, and head on over to Shelton Fitness. The link will be in my description to see the full video and to see what he does as well. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you next time.